Welcome to this channel. The channel is for educations and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So 2 days ago, before the Christmas Day, Christmas 2025, I share a YouTube, which is this one. This one, a Christmas presents or bomb YouTube. So after I share the YouTube, there are many Wing Chun friends and traditional Chinese Kung Fu friends from different style have contacted me. Many have asked me many questions, and some still do not understand what I am talking about. At least do not get the core of what I'm sharing. So today I like to respond to all these friends message to me so that you all here on get a really solid uh, bottom line. What I'm going to share with you today, this bottom line is needed, or else you don't have a solid Wing Chun. Some of our friends who contacted me realize how serious the problem is. And it is really serious. It is really serious. Now, I'm sharing the previous YouTube and this YouTube for educational purpose, not to promote any lineage, not to promote myself, not to promote any grandmaster, because the channel is for educations and culture. So what is education for? Well, education is for so that everybody be able to develop the skill of Wing Chun. Education is for that. Education is for so that we be able see what is the proper, what is the improper, what is the truth, what is the false, what is possible, what is impossible. There is no point to keep following something that which is impossible. For example, what is the point to keeping doing your Shaolin Tao and believing some days you will develop something? Those are just wasting of time. Those just lack of educations. For the past 160 years already, since 1860, since the Pro-Qing Wing Chun, we know because we have the education today from my previous YouTube, we know that they do not have a full view of what is going on. Of course, today we have advantage. We know what is the teaching of 1850s Wing Chun. We be able to bridge it with today's sport science. We be able to bridge with the modern science, so we really clearly know the cause and effect. This is far beyond those who always claim that they are doing uh, internal Wing Chun, or they study or using some concept of Tai Chi or internal art or Qigong or whatever they like to claim. Far beyond that, because we know the cause and effect. In a training sense, we need to know the cause and effect. We need to have the educations so we know what is possible, what is not possible. On the other hand, because we know the educations, we be able to analyze our opponent, our competitor. We know what is their strength, we know what is their weak point. We know if the claim is true or if the claim doesn't hold water. That is the power of educations. We need that. Wing Chun have a really advanced educations. That's why we the ancestor known the ancestor name the sets Xiu Lin Tao, the essence of the tails training. Everything, the devils is in the details, details, details. It is not about you believe, I believe, and then you get into those movie type of stuff. You just do a marketing branding. So, so after the YouTube being released, there is a Wing Chun friends contacted me, said, "Well, Hendrik, how are you so sure that all those like Dai Fa Ming Gam, the guy who create the three sets of Wing Chun, do not know, do not know the core of Wing Chun, the full arts of Wing Chun of 1850?" So there are questions like that. So I told him, I said, "You think I'm bluffing?" Uh, The friend right back said, I don't know. So that's why I'm asking you. So today I can share with the world. Don't give me the name of the GSIM from the Red Boat. Shaolin Wang Chun is Wing Chun. Tai Fa Ming Gam and all those ancestors. Don't give me those names. Why? Because very simple. Once you have the educations, you're going to be able to analyze things. For example, the name leader idea, 修领跑, or leader training, that just show that the guy who named the name and the guy who teach those things have no idea what it is. See, the ancient Chinese is really specific. Ancient Chinese, those who reiterate, those who is the real deal, will never, never name a set leader idea or leader training. Proof? Xu Lim Tao means the essence of details training. And this essence of detailed training is actually the naming is based on 峨眉十二桩 here, okay? In Mandarin, 前身不可着力量，一任自然，顺气脉，细微小智妙解方. So this is what it inherit from the 峨眉十二桩, and that's why it named the name. Okay, so this means the entire body should not exert unnecessary force. Allow breathing and energy to flow naturally. Savoring small details is the key to success. Savoring small details is the key to success. And due to that, to savor small details means to clearly perceive every aspect of the movement, its structure, cause, and effect, so that experience can be accurately reproduced. In this spirit, Xiu Lim Tao prohibit vague and ambiguous concepts. This principle echoes the well-known Wing Chun maxim. The practice of Xiu Lim Tao must be dim dim cheng, which means every point must be made clear. Now, what is Xiu Lim Tao? Leader idea means. What is leader training means? It is vague. It doesn't tell you anything, but just somebody's branding or naming, and up to everybody's interpretation, it doesn't tell you anything. So the authentic naming in 1850 is the essence of details training. Details training. And this details training is from 峨眉十二桩. It never is leader idea. What is leader idea? Leader training. What is leader training? It's vague and not clear at all. So by just naming, one naming. So am I so sure? Yes. You read the snake crane Wing Chun's writing, secret note. You can find out that the teaching of Tai Fa Ming Gam is writing there, Xiu Nim Tao, leader idea. Just the title of the thing, you read it, you say, this is not what the ancient Chinese proper naming is. It doesn't mean anything. And you can see that some lineage of Wing Chun disregard of how they claim themselves. They don't have Xiu Lim Tao training. They create their stuff. From just this, because you know the entire thing, you can see. They don't have the technology. They don't have the Wing Chun teaching. Well, not to mention that, like this year, many say, no, Wing Chun is not from 峨眉十二桩. Are you sure? How much do you know? So people who know that, people go keeping spreading their nonsense. You know they are fake just when they open their mouth. Okay, so this is just one naming. I'm not even talking about this yet. I'm not even talking about this yet, which is I share here. I'm not even talking about this yet. With all this Neigong and all this intensity and energy and breathing, thus, none of those past 160 years since the Pro Qing Wing Chun until today, all the lineage have the contents of the proper training. Everybody might have a piece of this, piece of that, but you know that they do not have a full view. They do not have a complete view. So it's very serious in the breathing. In the anaerobic for fighting training, you have the wind breathing. For the recovery, you have the natural subtle breathing, where you have the three phases of the breathing, the inhale, exhale, and the pulse, or the post-exhale pulse. Now, when your Xu Lin Tao do not have this fully, you know you are in disaster. You are in a disaster. How do you develop your body? You know anybody who do not know this, do not have a full training. These days, everybody love to call themselves the king of Wing Chun. Like in Asia, the old timer always have a problem with people calling Bruce Lee the king of Kung Fu. People is so much in branding in past many decades that keeping doing all this thing. They didn't provide education, they just provide branding to end up screw up the culture. That's why the old timer sifus now who is in their 80s and 90s is asking the question, are you serious that Bruce Lee is a king of Wing Chun? How much real deal Wing Chun Bruce Lee know? This is a question in the martial art community. Sure, people do not have to uh, look into it, but you know what? It is written in the history, you like it or not. And the reason why I make this channel, I share this thing is what? To make this thing clear. Otherwise, you guys meaning those guys who keeping doing those kind of thing, is putting a bomb into the history of Wing Chun, where everybody going to love the hell out of you, love the hell out of Wing Chun. So do they have the right to screw up Wing Chun? They don't, because Wing Chun is a Chinese culture. The Chinese don't like anybody to screw up their culture. It's like the Japanese try to screw up the Chinese culture, like the war history. The Japanese try to screw distorted that. The, look at the entire China today. Don't is not going to buy that. Even if they go to war, they're going to go to war because it's history, because that is the respect of the ancestor. Truth have to be said. Not to mention, you think I'm whining here? I'm not whining here. I just tell you that if you don't know that breathing, you're not going to get anything out from Wing Chun, but disaster. Okay? So I make this page, and this is the page. Disregard of the snake crane uh, secret note or any language or any where the Shaolin Wing Chun people like to claim whatever, you can check on them. They don't have this. So what to say? This is, as I told Asia, this is to champion the Chinese, the Wing Chun ancestor. And this is also a responsibility to share to all Wing Chuners. This is what you need to learn, to develop. It doesn't matter that for past 160 years it's void there, but now you know this. You train it, you got it. It's free video, right? Now, So I share this, and there are still friends who have no idea what I'm talking about. So over here in the recovery, under the recovery training, you have the breathing, the natural subtle breathing, where you have three phases of breathing: inhale, exhale, and pause. This is just human biological rhythm. And under the fighting, you don't have the pose anymore. And in today's many training do not have the pose. So there is a Wing Chun friend asking me, he said, well, we have this so-called box breathing. Even though I say that this is a natural subtle breathing with this for the recovery, he still don't understand what I'm talking about. So I want to explain to you. So this is the box breathing. The box breathing is like you inhale, you hold, you stop your breathing, you exhale, you stop your breathing. Say you inhale, you count to 4, and you stop breathing, count to 4. You exhale, count to 4, and then you hold your breathing, count to 4, and then you inhale again. Those are not what I'm talking about in this natural subtle breathing or under recovery. So this Wing Chun friends thinking that box breathing is what I'm talking about. I say no. You better watch my YouTube properly, carefully. And that is a very bad situation today for many Wing Chuners. People only remember or only listen to superficial term, have no idea what is the content, and have never ever experienced it, and then they thought they know. So it's just like the people who never know how to swim, never get into the water, reading some books about swimming on freestyle, frog style, butterfly style, and then they start to thinking, oh, this is equal to that, that is equal to that, but they have no idea what is floating in the water. Now, so this is the comparison. What I'm sharing on this thing, the recovery. If you want recovery, you have to have the natural pose. Inhale, exhale, and natural pose. Effort, you don't use effort. Control, you don't use control. Your carbon dioxide rising when you do it is gentle. Vagal peak is supported. Best you for recovery regulations. Box breathing. Okay, so when you stop your breathing, like you inhale, you count 1 to 4, and and then you stop breathing, you count 1 to 4. Those stop breathing, hold on breathing, and count 1 to 4. Those things, okay, is box breathing pose. Effort, you are using effort to control 1 to 4. Control, yes, you active it. It's not natural. Carbon dioxide rising is steeper. Vagal peak is interrupted. It's not supported. Best used for acute stress focus. So it is a complete different thing. It is belongs to this thing, belong to the control. Okay? So the bottom line is if your goal is regulations, heart stability, and deep calm, let the pose happen. Don't schedule it. Meaning here, if you want to recover, you want to do this. Box breathing is a tool, not a foundations. This is building foundations. This recovery stuff is building foundations. If your Wing Chun, if your Xu Tao do not have building foundation, this thing, your Xu Tao is useless. So why is it useless? So Hendrik, are you so broad to say this? You dare to tell the entire 160 years all the grandmaster, all the lineage don't know what they're talking about? It is not me. It is science. It is the teaching of the ancient Chinese, and it is science. Got nothing to do with me. And you learn this so that you can bypass that 160 years of void there. Or else it's guaranteed you're going to get screwed big time. So this box breathing or this anaerobic fighting training, okay, for the fighting, breathing become the demand driven, those things. Those are called performance breathing. The goal is oxygen delivery plus speed. The nervous system is sympathetic. Pulse is suppressed temporarily. You suppress the pulse in the recovery. You suppress it like this box. You suppress the pulse. Okay. You use a fort. Okay. So like here it said that let the pulse happen. Don't schedule it. Don't suppress it. Or don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop breathing the pulse there. So those are called performance breathing. Like you fight, right? Bang, 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 bang. Right away you say, well, I might be out of gas. I have to move out, take a deep breath right away. Those are performance breathing. Those are oxygen delivery speeds. Nervous system is sympathetic, is alert. Pulse, you suppress it. Cost, pay later during recovery. There's a cost to pay there because you are using your body. Regulatory breathing, which is the breathing over here for recovery, which is have the inhale, exhale, and pulse. The goal is stability and restorations, recover. Nervous system parasympathetic. It actually calm you down. Pulse naturally present. Cost none because it is a recovery. This is recovery itself. The problem happens when performance breathing become the default, even at rest. So there are two types of breathing. You can look at it. Over here, like the fighting thing is a performance breathing. This is the regulating or recovering breathing. So let me ask you questions. Your 小念頭尋橋標誌, tell me what type of breathing you have. If you have no idea on this regular breathing and this pulse naturally present, good luck. You know what you do? Problem happen when performance breathing become the default, even at rest. So, your 小念頭尋橋標誌 and all your Wing Chun training, you only have this performance breathing. And it's going to cost you. It's draining. And it's not going to get you to calm down. Stability and restorations. Your body is not going to recover. So, answer my questions. All you 160 years since the 小念頭尋橋標誌 designed until today, what type of breathing are you guys using? You look at those people who do 小念頭, they say they do it for 1 hour until their body is shivering, until they are sweating. What type of breathing is that? You see those people have this pigeon toe and using all the strength, do it slowly, the body is tense up. What type of breathing is that? You know it's performance breathing. They have no idea on the regulating or recovery or restoration breathing. Are you going to tell me that you know all the Wing Chun, your lineage, and this? Whenever I say something, when people say, "Oh, Hendrik, it's about lineage," like I wrote books, the Wing Chun Nei Gong code, and this guy is saying that, "Oh, you just talk about your lineage. What lineage? I care less about lineage. Your issue is your training is incomplete. You are damaging their body. Wing Chun is not that, okay? So don't give me all those Wing Chun grandmaster lineage, all this nonsense. You're screwing up people because you're missing regulatory breathing. In today's sports science, today's people know that after training, they have to get into recovery. Just go check on the Apple Watch or get the Garmin watch. It tell you, are you ready for training or not? Today, we have that technology. Will your 小林头长橋標誌 be able to get there? Will your tour to China claim that you are the grandmaster, you know it all, you can beat Hendrik, you are the oldest Wing Chun or whatever can do this? Sorry to say, you don't even have any idea on regulatory breathing. So that's why I often say I only give face already. If I want to, if I want to send like nuclear bomb with the bunker bomb down, I can destroy an entire lineage to prove to you that the guy even in the beginning do not know what you're talking about, based on science and based on ancient Chinese teaching, Buddhist teaching. Don't keeping telling me this is from Shaolin, Bodhidharma, and all those things. The regular breathing is in Buddha's teaching Anapanasati. As I mentioned in my book, Wing Chun Nei Gong Code. 1,400 years ago, they already know it. And it is in China, which is clearly presented by the Buddhist monk Zhiyi, the Chinese Buddhist monk Zhiyi, and then it come down to the Buddhist teaching come down to Shaolin, to Mei Zhuang, and then it get into Wing Chun. Okay? So if your training is only performance, that is what the problem happen is. That means you cannot have a good body. Just look at those Olympic trainer today. They have to have enough recovery time. And if you don't have recovery time, you know that problem. Now, so why fighters and aerobic athletes feel weird but exhausted? Because they train the nervous system to avoid pause. They avoid this pause. They avoid this pause because they only get into the performance breathing. They do not have this pause. They suppress that pause. They train the nervous system to avoid the pause. They condition rapid inhale reflex. They associate stillness with loss of readiness. So even when resting, the pulse doesn't reappear, breathing stays incomplete, the system never fully shut down. This is weakness. This is not weakness, this is conditioning. Well, you will have to pay later because you only have the performance breathing. Just look at Bruce Lee. You check the entire thing of the Bruce Lee. He is in here. He doesn't have the regulatory breathing. He doesn't know. That is where the tragic is. If Bruce Lee is born today with today's sports science, they will have no tragic of Bruce Lee. This is tragic. So also this again, because this is in scientific language, we present what the Chinese have been there at least for 1,400 years. There's a reason why the old timer Chinese Kung Fu master questions the title when people branding Bruce Lee as king of Kung Fu. This is in from the face that what you don't have. People can see it if they have the true transmissions. I map it or bridge it with the science to show you this is real, man. I'm not interested. I'm not interested who is the best fighter who beat who. I am interested that if you don't know this basic training, you don't have these educations, your entire army wipe out. Okay? Your entire army wipe out. That's how serious it is. So stop to say, well, I train in Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao. There's internal there. There's mindfulness there. Bullshit. When you couldn't even be able to know that exists a performance breathing and regulatory breathing, and you do not know exactly what it is, how to get in, and you try to tell me that you are king of Xiu Lin Tao, you have all this mindful and everything, just acting like a choreography, like in the movie. Are you serious? We talk about technology here. We talk about people's life here. If people keeping training this and have no idea on this, you're going to screw people. We just look at the Xiu Lin Tao 1850. So here you say that, okay, this is a part of it. Okay. It said circle hand, control and seize. Left, right palm strikes. Okay, so strike, pick the bridge, present the seal, sealing the chest. So this is boom, 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 boom. You attack. And then it come back, it said double claw grabs the feet, the chi meridians and breathing are comfortable. You put it back. Remember, after you go all this thing, you always pull your hand back. That's what it is. Double claw grabs the fish, you keep it back, and your breathing and meridian is comfortable. What is that? Okay, so this part is the regulatory breathing. This part, like the circle hand, okay, recapture the circle door, the response must be in hurry, pick the bridge, present the seal, sealing the chest, meaning striking the chest. All of this is belong to performance breathing. So you always have performance breathing and then you regulate it in the Xiu Lim Tao. This uh, 1850 Xiu Lim Tao. Okay? And after the regulatory breathing, it come back again. Sinking both palm, rise while inhaling. Again, okay? Double push hand while exhaling. So that again, you get into the performance breathing. Suppress the pose temporarily. So the Xiu Lim Tao is designed with performance breathing. It starts with the regulatory breathing, performance breathing, regulatory breathing, performance breathing. This is what it is. Internal, the Neigong, as what I shared with you the other day, you know. It is from the recovery, it get to the aerobic or anaerobic, it go up here for performance, and then it come back to recovery. Always it come back, right here. Return, recapture the center, the middle door, capture your center line. The response must be in hurry. Circle hand, you strike, and then sealing the chest, you strike, and then you come back to the regulatory breathing, and then you go again after you have into the recovery states for a while. Sinking both palm, rise while inhaling, double push hand while exhaling. All the thing. Now, what to argue? When your content of practice and training of your body do not have this in your 少林頭尋橋標誌, or even worse, you don't even have the sets. You want to argue who's most authentic, who is internal, who is from the king of Wing Chun? Better know what we are talking about. Wing Chun have this, like I share with you, the performance breathing and regulatory breathing. Other style who is as deep as Wing Chun have that too. They can analyze you, you can analyze them. So the guy, the style which do not have the regulatory breathing, their people will have what the Chinese say internal injury after the practice because their body do not recover. So that's why in China, in the ancient China, and in the older training, older practitioner, today's their age will be 80, 90s. Okay, my Sifu's time. Even in my generation, less people know this already. In my Sifu times, always disregards from Shaolin, from White Crane, from Yi Quan, they know. Even the Yi Quan, you see, like the other day I'm speaking about, they have the Nezhe Qi. Why they have the Nezhe Qi? That is the regulatory breathing. They train with it. So like in the fight, say you talk about competition, bang, 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 after one round, get out. What did they do? Of course, they're going to do recovery breathing. Even today's professional fighter, they are trained with that, like the Olympic, isn't it? This is a technological fact. You cannot play if you do not up to this level of technology. So I'm not here to step at everybody, every grandmaster, every lineage. I'm here to tell you that your entire army can wipe out if you do not bring back this and be able to know all this thing, the pro and cons, because this damage the body. Okay? Don't tell me about my 10 techniques, this and that. You do not have an engine. Sure, you can be gung ho, but we will take a strike inside there and you have to recovery, healing your body if you cannot get to the regulatory breathing. How are you going to recover your body? Again, get back to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's case. And here we are not stepping on Bruce Lee. We have to respect that this guy is actually a really diligent guy, a really diligent person. His problem is he was born in the wrong time and the wrong place. He doesn't have the information what we have today. That is the tragic. So disregard what he do. Now he say, well, I can use my will to heal myself when he injured himself like in back. But wait a minute. There's when you are in 20s. When you get into the 30s, you know you got a problem already. Your body, your energy cannot recover if you not be able to recover it. When you get into the 50s, 60s, so you look at all those fighters, Wing Chun practitioner who is named in fighting, you know how old they die? 50 something, 60 somethings, 50 somethings. Those who don't fight, who don't die. Why? Because the fight guys who always train in this. Those who don't fight because they never train, they never fight. It's just all philosophy. Even smoking opium. But the real deal of Chinese Kung Fu, you always have both. If you miss one, like the internal art master from Yiquan, the Yiquan founder Wang Xiangzai, Wang Xiangzai had both. That's why he be able to handle his body. Okay, this is just a simple stuff. If we do not know that, we are going to walk into disaster. And you can say, well, I'm not. Yeah, sure, you're born. You are born stronger than other people, but you're going to get aged too. Okay. So this is the notion is to have the educations. Now you have a problem for the regulatory breeding. So how are you going to develop the regulatory breeding, say in the Xiulim town? How? You want to sing qi to dan tian. Everybody talk about they want to sing qi to dan tian, but if you do not have the regulatory breeding, you cannot sing qi to dan tian. Why? Because when you're missing that pulse, the post exhale pulsing, the recovery pulsing, your mind is not going to come down. Disregard, you say, well, I'm internal, I use chi, I use yi, all this bullshit nonsense. As soon as your biological rhythm, your breathing not be able to get into the regulatory breathing, you can do it. Sing qi to dan tian with your qi from the Ren meridian going down while you exhale, you need to be able into that regulatory breathing, be able to have a very well uh, natural pulse there. Okay? So don't let people bullshit you because I study internal. I can sing qi to Dan Tian. Or because I go have a seminar, you pay me $500 in a one weekend seminar, I can make you sing qi to Dan Tian. Are you serious? So how come all those people until today who claim to be internal won't be able to tell you there's such thing called regulatory breathing? Okay? Now, so the regulatory breathing, you need to know many things. Okay. And it is a principle based emphasis on mastering the fundamental practice before progressing to more advanced training. Beginners should focus on mastering the basic, unlike quick fix. Neigong's benefits accumulate over time through patient, consistent, and repeatable work during proper basic training. You need to train this. It spend a lot of time. And it have a lot of things which you never heard about it. For example, for example, you want to deal with the breathing. During Neigong practice, one must understand the nature of the sensor, awareness, and the object of sensing, the breathing. Furthermore, it is crucial to know the locations of the sensing breathing, to know the course of the fire of the breathing, meaning that you need to know the locations of sensing. So there are locations, like this is figure, whatever are common locations for sensing. It's not one location fit everything. No, there are different locations in the body for the sensings of breathing based on different people. Okay, so this location either sense inhalations and exhalation directly or by detect the flow or indirectly by sensing it from the body sensation. So you're sensing breathing from the air flow or directly, or you're sensing the sensations of body. That's just sensing breathing. Okay. So did anybody tell you about that? How you sense your breathing? Is it a direct sensing via the flow of the air or indirectly sensing by the sensations of the body or the motions of the body? Okay. And here, when focusing too intense on breathing, especially in a confined area, it can cause tension in the head due to the heightened mental focus. Additionally, sensing the breathing in the head area can also contribute to this tension. Both of these situations can lead to stress and increased blood pressure. Do you know this? You want to sing qi to dantian? Do you know where you're going to sense your breathing? Do you know, you know, when you focus, what is the intensity of focus? This is a technical questions. So for the beginning of training, there are many stages. The goal of this stage of practice is to lead the diaphragm pelvic floor muscle and related breathing mechanism into effortless natural operations. Beginning should practice step one for days and weeks until they proficient before proceeding to step two. Okay. Now you have different steps of the training, and the first steps of the training, okay, like this: reset to natural breathing. This is step one. Breathing lightly and naturally without adjusting or holding your breath. The key is to breathe lightly. Start this breathing practice with exhalation. When you exhale, relax the lower abdomen and let go any forceful tension or habitual intention manipulation in this area. After exhalation, when you inhale, intention, relax your chest and let go the forceful tensions or habitual intentional. So this step one is of the breathing of our training this regulatory breathing is to get rid of your habit because everybody have their habit of breathing. So you have to reset your breathing back to the natural breathing first because most of us is under the conditions of problem happen when performance breathing become default. A baby will not have that problem if a healthy baby. For us, the older we are, we have all those problems because we default into a certain pattern which we are unaware of, especially when we are stressed and we are tense. So those are like a fly and fly kinds of thing. Like if you working in high tech, you are so busy at your every day, and you actually default your breathing into the performance breathing because every meeting you get so stressed and everything. You don't have this recovery breathing anymore. Your breathing shifted, or you have very shallow of a recovery breathing most of the time. So when you want to practice real kung fu, you have to like this one using the step one to reset. Otherwise, you're gonna force your body to do the breathing, and that will never get you to recovery breathing, right? Regulatory breathing, and also as I share with you here, how do you sense your breathing? So there are tons of things which is you need to know. Again, back to the Xiu Lim Tao. Wing Chun is what essence of detailed training. You need to know all those details, or else you will not be able to get the kung fu. So that's the reason why I wrote this Wing Chun Nei Gong Code. This book is actually for this, for the regulatory breathing, because you have this in you have to develop your regulatory breathing. You have to know all this, be able to handle all this, whatever I shared with you just now, in order just to begin to have the first steps. So that's why I wrote the Wing Chun Nei Gong Code. For usual people, it's like complete in the different world, but that's the real deal. In the ancient, they thought that way. Today, in science, we bridge it. We know what exactly it is. It is about how to deal with or live with our biological rhythm. So if you forget whatever I'm saying in this YouTube, you take back two things. Always ask yourself, what is this breathing? Is that a performance breathing, or it is a regulatory breathing for recovery? Performance breathing, like for your fighting. Recovery breathing is for your recovery. Regulatory breathing, restoring breathing. If you want to say qi, mindfulness, 心气 to 丹田, all those energy stuff is based on regulatory breathing. All fighting is based on performance breathing. So if anybody tell you I'm going to practice this Tai Chi slow, and I can Fa Jing, I can fight Muhammad Ali, I can fight Mike Tyson, I say you bullshit. Why? You want to fight, you need to train the performance breathing. You want to develop your chi in the body, xing qi to dantian, those things. You need to develop your regulatory breathing. So for the performance breathing is for training, work hard, fighting. For the regulatory breathing is for recovery, restorations of your body when you're tired after training. Or you want to repair your body, let the body repair itself after medicines and everything. Now, so my questions for everybody, or you want to take back for yourself, is when you do 少林頭尋橋標誌 or any training in Wing Chun, ask yourself, should this be regulatory breathing, or this is the performance breathing? Do I really know how to do the regulatory breathing? If not, there's no such thing as internal chi and everything. Okay? So just take back this, asking the question when I do that set, Is that regulatory breathing or is that performance breathing? Or does the set have both breathing? If the set do not have both breathing, you know that this is a performance set. This is not a full complete set like the Wing Chun 1850. Okay? So it is sounds simple, but it is not simple. It's all the details. And that's why I said in the past 160 years is a void there. And it is a time that now we have the educations. If you're serious in your Wing Chun and your martial art training, in your Kung Fu, you better have this thing fully integrate into your training, or else you're looking for trouble. The guy who never have the performance breathing cannot fight. The guy do not have the regulatory breathing will cause their body to tear and wear. And the guy who have no idea on both, just doing things randomly, could not fight and could not have their body recover. So asking, are you keeping doing your Xiu Lian Tao or have to be look like in the Yip Man movie or in the stage? What type of breathing are they? Do you know? If you don't know, you never train. Because this is human biological rhythm. You need this breathing to alive. Don't talk about those Chi, my grandmaster, the king of Wing Chun, the best fighter. It doesn't matter. So this is what I like to share with you. Just put the thing straight in the perspective. 2026 is coming. There's no room for bullshit because if you don't know there's two type of breathing and the training associated with it, it's better that don't touch Wing Chun, don't touch Kung Fu training or martial art training because it's going to cost you. Okay. So I'm doing a strict talk here. One point is there's no room for us to screw other, make believe that we are grandmaster. Another thing is you need to champion the ancient Wing Chun ancestor, not like the Xi Xiaodong say, oh, you guys are just doing demo. Yeah, when you're doing demo, is that a performance breathing or it is a regulatory breathing? Well, you get none because it's just a demo. Okay. So we need to have to be like Bodhidharma said, don't cheat yourself, don't get cheated by others, and don't cheat others, or else you're going to get into a hell which you don't even know that you're going to land there.